When it comes to grammar, are you confident that you're not making some big mistakes? Stuff like comma splices, possessive nouns, apostrophe errors, run-on sentences, and so on. When writers make these grammar mistakes, their entire writing becomes amateur and unimpressive. So even if you plan on working with an editor, it's really important to know the rules behind the language you use. Whether you're new to writing stories or not, you'll want to stick around for a list of all the common writing grammar mistakes and how to improve your grammar in this quick rapid-fire video. Let's get started! Hey guys, Nour here and welcome back to my channel. I'm just gonna hop right in, semicolons. These things seem alien and confusing to some people, but they're actually pretty easy. A semicolon is like a period that transforms two sentences into one. So if two sentences follow the same plot, you could use a semicolon. For example, I ate cake, it was delicious. You could choose not to use a semicolon here and instead just use a period, but the semicolon does connect these two separate thoughts together. Oxford comma. When you write I like apples, bananas, and strawberries, put a comma before the last thing on that list. Some people think that this comma isn't necessary, but those people are wrong! If you wrote I like playing tennis, eating pretzels, and dancing without the Oxford comma, it would be as if you're saying that you eat dancing, which doesn't make sense. The Oxford comma is not optional, guys. Sentence fragments. This is two sentences or more that should be one, but you decided to split them up. Stuff like, I went to the store and purchased milk. This is one sentence that you split up, but it doesn't need to be split up. Now, in writing, sometimes we do sentence fragments on purpose to emphasize something, but that's an exception. We can write, and then I saw him, the ghost. This is a sentence fragment, but it has a purpose, so it works. Forgetting a comma in a compound sentence. This is when you write, I like him a lot and he likes me back, but forget to add that comma. This is important to add because these are two separate sentences connected by the word and a comma. So in essence, we're saying, I like him a lot, period. He likes me back, period. However, if you wrote, I like him a lot, but hate him sometimes, you wouldn't use a comma before but, because also hate him sometimes isn't a complete sentence on its own. Misplaced or dangling modifier. This is a word, phrase, or clause that's incorrectly separated from the word it describes, which makes the sentence awkward. For example, she ate the sizzling chef's fajitas. First off, why is the chef sizzling? Should we be concerned? It should obviously be the chef's sizzling fajitas, not the sizzling chef's fajitas. Basically, just put the words in the right order. Run-on sentence. A popular run-on sentence is actually the comma splice, which is actually when you merge two separate sentences by a comma when you should actually split them up with a period. Example, we could have pizza, it's really delicious. This should be, we could have pizza, period, it's really delicious, period. Or, we could have pizza because it's really delicious. Lie versus lay. Lie can mean to tell false information or to recline on a flat surface, like a bed or a couch. Lay, on the other hand, means to set something down. So it would be wrong to say, I laid down, because that implies that you set yourself down. You would write, I was told to lie down, not I was told to lay down. Unless you want to say that you're setting something down. Then you'd say, I was told to lay down the books. But here's where people get confused. The past of lie is lay. So if you are trying to say that you reclined in the past, then it is appropriate to say that you lay down. It's versus it's, whose versus whose, and there, and there. These always trip people up, but they're actually very easy once you break them down. Anytime we have an apostrophe in these, we are really saying that something is or are. It's with an apostrophe means it is, and whose with an apostrophe means who is, and there with an apostrophe means they are. Now, when we have an S in the word but not an apostrophe, like its and whose, we're really saying that something belongs to something else. Like if we're talking about a cat's blue eyes, we'd say its eyes are blue. If we say, whose phone is this, we're actually saying, who does this phone belong to? But if we wrote, whose phone is this, it would be like saying, whose phone is this, which doesn't make sense. There is the only one without an S here, but it works in the exact same way. There means something belongs to them. Their phone, their watch, their food, those belong to them. If we wrote their food, we would be saying they are food. And if you wrote their food, it would be a flawed sentence and you'd sound like a caveman. because there simply means location, as if you're pointing at something like over here and over there. Then versus than. You'd say, then I ate, but you wouldn't say, I like you more than honey. The word than is used when talking about comparisons, but the word then is used when talking about something relating to time. Example, I like you more than honey, or he's stronger than his brother. I went to the store and then I went home. See the difference? Should've versus should've. Basically, you should never say should've, because that's not even a thing. It's always should've, which is short for should have. I should have eaten, not I should have eaten. A lot versus a lot. Just like with should've versus should've, this is the same exact thing, because there's no such thing as a lot, one word. It is always two separate words. A lot. I like to have a lot of cake. Who versus whom. Not gonna lie, this is my weakness, but I have come to master it. The way you can tell when to use each one is by following this trick. Anytime you could replace these with he or she, you'd use who. And anytime you could replace these with him or her, you'd use whom. Example, I like him a lot. Switch that with, whom do I like a lot? She is so sweet. Switch that with, who is so sweet? Who versus that. Anytime you're talking about a person, you would use who. And anytime you're talking about an object, you would use that. Example, he was the person who spoke a lot. It was the lamp that she took with her. Simple, right? Possessive nouns. This is when the noun is plural, but also possesses something. No, I'm not talking about demon possessions. I'm talking about when something belongs to several people. Example, if several girls own cars, you wouldn't say the girls' cars, because that means that only one girl has many cars. But how would you make girls plural when there's an apostrophe? The solution is easy. You write girls plural and then add the apostrophe after the S. So the girls' cars. Easy, right? And here's my last grammar tip for you. Anytime you write a quote, you put the period or comma inside the quote, not outside. Example, I like to dance. I like to dance, I said. He is annoying, I sighed. You wouldn't write I like to dance with a period after the quote. So there you have it. I hope this video enlightened you a bit, or at least gave you some refresher on these grammar rules. Let me know in the comments, which of these do you struggle with the most? I'd love to know. And before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out to Sarah Frame from my shoutouts here, as well as all my amazing patrons. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget to follow me on social media, that way you can see what I'm up to from day to day. And remember, Nour for president!